It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is Stephen, oh God, that's great, Piercy, with a solo song, I Can't Take It. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard something new from the forthcoming release from Flotsam and Jetsam from their self-titled release coming soon, Iron Maiden. And a guy that, I don't have a clever opening for this, so I'm just going to introduce you. It's my good friend and partner, Chris Aiken.
Hi, friends. How are we?
I'm usually pretty clever with the song titles, but I just can't come up with one for Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for a maiden with an iron stomach so she could drink with me. Does that count?
I thought you had one of those.
Last go around, she did some puking.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought she was a Jack girl.
She is, but just the last time I partied with her, it was her turn to be left laying on the floor puking.
Wow, look at that.
So, so I guess I need another one.
All right. Excellent. Well, we are back after a very eventful week where the Classic Metal Show is concerned.
Yeah, I'd say. We were a little busy doing much more classic metal than we usually do during the week now, weren't we?
Yeah, a little bit. Last week's show was one of the more stellar shows, I would think, of the year.
Sure.
We had former Rat co-manager Jason Green on, who basically spewed for an hour uninterrupted.
Yes, we did.
That, of course, got a lot of press and headlines. Well, I shouldn't say press or headlines. Let's just put it, we did a lot of downloads with that.
Yeah, we did.
That topped like close to 9,000 downloads on the Spreaker.
Something in that range, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course Metal Sludge covered it, and other music news sites kind of stayed away from it.
Yeah, they didn't want the hassle, I guess.
And we had Eric Braverman on, which dude, he was so spot on last week. I listened to that segment 3 times this week.
Sure, he definitely had some interesting things. That shit about the loading your old red wagon up your ass.
and the whole Prince coming in and fiddling with everything on the stage and playing all the Hendrix solos in reverse without heroin, and then the displacement of That Metal Show featuring 2 unfunny comedians and overeating guy.
Right.
I mean, he had some classic lines last week.
He did. He was good last week.
So that was really good. And then we had a couple of callers last week that stayed on point. So if you intend on calling the show tonight, I hope you will call during a segment that you have something to comment on.
Yes.
And then we had some Bob Leather, which this week we will have more Bob Leather.
Is there more Bob Leather?
There is more Bob Leather. He called in twice this week.
Oh, nice.
I did not listen to it. I like I said last week, I like the element of surprise.
Sure.
So I did not listen to his phone calls.
Excellent. So they'll be fresh for both of us. I didn't even know he called. So.
Yeah, he called. I think he called yesterday, and I think he called this morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I think something that obviously probably whatever went down on the show, he probably was listening to the show and had to chime in.
Right.
So I don't know what Bob Leather's going to bring to the table tonight, but I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sure it'll be good.
And then we got another caller, which you did listen to, but I don't want you to give it away because I did not listen to it.
Okay.
But somebody else left a series of voicemails.
Yes, somebody else did.
Okay, so we'll listen to that. And then the biggest caller of all this week, which we'll get into in great depth, of course, the fallout from the rat thing.
Yep.
Bobby Blotzer himself called in.
Twice.
And I know why the emails bounce back.
Why?
Because you got the email address wrong.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I looked at what you sent and where you sent it, and then I listened to what he said, and you added one letter in there that didn't belong.
No, an E, right?
No, you added the O.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
There should be no O in there.
Okay.
So I saw that, and I was just like, oh, I see why that bounced back.
Why doesn't he just write his name out?
I don't know, but anyway, I saw that, and I listened to the voicemail again, and I go, oh, I see why the emails bounced back. But nevertheless, you did connect with him.
Yeah, well, then we got into a nice little texting discussion.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We did invite Bobby on the show. We gave him the door wide open.
Yep.
He may not come on the show. I don't know.
He's playing tonight. You know, if he has time either before or after, I'm sure he can call.
Sure. Also, Stephen Piercy, are you? He got back to me this week, as you're aware.
Okay.
And it looks like Monday night. Are you around?
Oh, I should be.
All right. But anyway, Stephen's playing M3 today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So there should probably be some audio or video of the Rat Bastards.
Okay.
At M3. I don't know. I have not looked at the YouTube yet. But
right.
M3 is this weekend, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool.
So he's playing today, I think, and then flying home tomorrow, and then he'll be available Monday.
And the rat traps will be clicking off in the studio.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to speaking with Steven. It's been a while.
Yeah, we might have something to talk to him about.
I'm sure we do. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Is he aware of our nonsense?
No, I did not cue him in on any of that. I just didn't want to, because I don't know what kind of litigation is going on there, and I don't want him to think we're trying to trap him in a rat trap in the corner.
That's right.
So, no, I would like to get him on and, talk about, his projects and what's going on with him, because I always enjoy speaking to Steven, and for whatever reason, he seems to like us. So,
yeah. Well, I can think of one reason right about now.
Well, regardless of that, he liked us before this nonsense.
Right.
Other than that, that's what's going on, kids. The show is taken off.
Yeah, boy, we did have a steamroller of a week.
We did, and not only because of the feature segments, but I noticed that the downloads this week on all the other segments have been especially high.
That's good. So people probably hearing that interview and then scrolling around to see what else we're talking about.
Sure. And then the Phil Lewis thing, I guess there was some backlash to that. I saw your email and the link you sent, but it didn't work for me.
Oh, because you don't have a damn fucking Facebook account.
Well, whatever.
I can read it from here.
All right. So apparently there was some fallout from Phil Lewis's comment.
Yes.
About black people being one-dimensional. And, of course, we gave our thoughts on that last week. But, people with the heightened sensitivity about racist stuff just can't let it go. Nope.
They gotta keep on fighting it, man. Got to keep on pretending like the world is this great place and nobody's allowed to upset anybody.
Right. Which is why we're thriving.
Yeah, exactly. We're happy. Keep doing it.
Right. So anyway, but I'm glad to be back here on the Classic Metal Show. I've been looking forward to coming, doing the show tonight. And last week, I can't remember if I told the story last week about stopping at the tire shop and making an appointment. Did I cover that last week?
Doesn't ring a bell.
All right. Well, last week, last Friday, I had to get my car in for an appointment for front end alignment.
Okay.
And the guy working behind the counter, he apparently was a metalhead. It was very clear that, he wore the rock and roll jewelry and, had the tattoos and, all this other stuff. And so, I kind of commented on one of the pieces of jewelry he was wearing, and he was showing it to me. And
okay.
I said, yeah, that's pretty cool. I say, check this out. So I was showing him the Dokken cross, and he goes, Dokken? He said, that's one of my most favorite bands ever.
Wow.
I was just like, yeah. And so we started talking about music, and I told him about the show, and I showed him how to get it on the Spreaker and, whatnot. And he said, well, let me show you something over here. So he was showing me, he had a bunch of live photos he had taken of Kiss.
Okay.
He's a big Kiss freak.
All right.
So he loves Kiss. He's big on that, but he likes all the other bands and whatnot. And so anyway, I just kind of, shot the shit with this guy for a few minutes last week. And so this morning I had an appointment to go get the car aligned, and, he was working the counter, and, hey man, what's going on? Hey, thanks for turning me on to that whole Spreaker thing. I've been listening to some episodes this week. That's badass.
Nice.
So we got into talking about stuff and music and whatnot, and he starts mentioning all the man. He says, I heard that Accept was here in town just like about a month and a half ago, and I didn't know until the day after, and I would have loved to gone see them. And I said, oh yeah, Accept. And I whipped out my phone, and remember I was in Wolf Hoffman's room over at NAMM. I said, yeah, check this out. Here's me and Wolf. So I showed him pictures of Wolf and showed him some other NAMM photos, David Ellefson and Lizzie Borden. And I said, do you know who London is? And he goes, London. Yeah. Decline of Western Civilization. That crazy guy. What's his name? Nader? I said, yeah, Nader. And so I showed him a picture of Nader. And he goes, Jesus Christ. He said, that's proof right there that he made a deal with the devil. That guy doesn't look like he's aged a day.
Nice.
So we got he goes, dude, I'm telling you, this is just beyond belief. He was really excited. He goes, but don't make too much fun of me because I'm an old guy. I said, what do you mean you're an old guy? I said, dude, I bet you I'm way older than you. I said, how old are you? He says, I'm 42. I said, I got 10 years on you. He goes, yeah, but you look good. He said, you still look good.
Yeah, he's been turning that wrench for 20 years. He looks about 80, right?
Yeah, and plus, he's divorced.
Oh, yeah. Well, then he should look better.
So it's just, the ex-wife, and blah, blah, blah. Tell me a little bit about the ex-wife and this and that. I'm just like, yeah, that's the reason.
How long is he divorced?
I don't know. I didn't really get into it with him.
Dude, you got to get the details.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. It just like, I'm glad I didn't go down that road.
You got to get him on the show. You got to get him to sit in with you some night.
Yeah, well,
hey, Steve the mechanic tonight on the show or whatever.
Yeah, well, he's from down in the Lafayette area.
Okay.
So he knows Axl Rose, not personally, but the family or extended family.
Okay.
And he knows Izzy. He says he did some car work for Izzy. Like his uncle or something like that.
Sure.
Like
nice.
That. So he was telling me about that. But anyway, I was just shooting the shit with the guy.